Knowledge, it ain't free. You got to pay attention to Pass the Wire TV.
Pass the Wire TV, your number one source for horse racing news and interviews, handicapping analysis, betting insights, and more. Pass the Wire TV covers the biggest races at the best tracks.
Garnet and Luis Saez to win the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga.
The Grey Wizard is absolutely flying. Champagne won. The Grey Wizard. Oh, it's very close. Leave it to the judge.
Like, share, and subscribe to Pass the Wire TV. Nobody does it better.
Hey, Sure Bet Coffee. Put that giddy up in your cup. That giddy up in your cup. Sure Bet Coffee.
Enter the world of Kingdom Nutrition, your number one source for healthy horses and fast finishes. Make sure your horses stay strong and healthy with the balanced mineral profile of Healthy Bones. This veterinarian recommended supplement helps foals, weanlings, and yearlings grow and develop. Healthy Bones also helps speed up recovery so your horses can stay in training longer and race more often. Plus, Appetite, the amazing product for your horses. Is your horse a poor eater? Does he dunk his grain in his water bucket? Do you believe he may have ulcers? Are you tired of paying for expensive drugs which offer only temporary relief? Why not try Appetite, the amazing product which is 100% all natural, produced by nature? Appetite contains more than 300 herbs, grasses, and wildflowers to help your horses look and feel amazing. Your cost for a 1-month supply is only $99. It comes with an unconditional money-back guarantee if you're not 100% satisfied with the results. Call Justin at Kingdom Nutrition today.
Tracking trips at Pass the Wire. There is no better time than now to join and ride with this clan. We'll be your second set of expert trained eyes. We ain't gonna buy you a fish. Sure, we'll give you some, but more importantly, we'll show you how to fish and make you a better bettor. CAWs, sharks in the water, no problem. We'll go against anybody, and we have the track record to prove it. Big days, big pools, and select days all year long. We'll outplay them all. Looking for an ace? You're in the right place. Want to find that diamond? Be with us. Want to know more? Just ask a member or visit us at passthewire.com and check out the Tracking Trips page. Nobody does it better.
You're watching Pass the Wire TV.
Ciao tutti. Hope all is well with everybody and that you are all getting ready for what proves to be a wonderful holiday and Christmas season and turns into a phenomenal and fantastic new year for all of you and all of your loved ones. First things first, thank each and every one of you for watching our videos, checking out passthewire.com, reading our articles, attending our seminars, joining tracking trips, and supporting Pass the Wire across the board like so many of you have been doing. We see and notice each and every one of you. We appreciate all of you. And from the bottom of everybody on the Pass the Wire heart, on the Pass the Wire team's heart, we thank you all. It means everything to us. We do all of this that we do for you. In this video, we are doing for you. So, grazie. Can't say enough. Can't show our appreciation enough for everybody. So, first things first. Well, now it's second thing, but this video is going to be about my approach to triples and superfectas. I've done a video in the past, the art of ticket structuring, where I talked about how I structured various types of bets. This particular show is going to be focused a little bit more in detail on triples and superfectas, and it's kind of, I don't want to say a series, but kind of a thing that Gio and I are doing together. We did exactas together. He's going to be doing a video on triples and superfectas on his own. I'm doing this one on my own, and it's important to remember Gio and I have very different styles and very different approaches in how we tackle this skill game of wagering on thoroughbred horse racing. There's more than one way to skin a cat, and what works for some may not work for others. I have a very unique approach, as does Gio. I would say that both of us have approaches that are uh, rare and extremely different than most people. But the bottom line is this: in horse racing, there's a lot of noise out there. All right, 99% of it is bullshit. There's only one benchmark in this game. Do you beat it? Do you beat the game? If you do, that's phenomenal. That's great. You're in a very small percentage. Although it is a skill game, very few people beat it. That's because it takes certain traits to beat it that go against what our normal and natural inclinations may be. But the only benchmark, the only thing that matters is, do you beat the game? I don't care how many tickets, how many clowns post of winners. They got more losers, 90% of them. More. Uh, I don't care how many big scores they show you, they're not showing you the losers. One thing that I always do is I'll show you my winners and show you my losers, and I'll be the first to admit and say that everybody that plays this game loses a lot more than they win, which is why only certain approaches work. Uh, and you can't get around that. One of those is cash less tickets, but win more money. You can't use every horse in every race and everybody that you think is going to win. Too many losing tickets, too many losing ways and bets. Goes back to why I say I never box. Boxing, I'm not going to beat that horse again. Excuse the pun, poor choice of words, but a box, 5 losing bets, take out, sharks in the water. Can't win mathematically. Don't do it. But that's that. Uh, you have to learn to embrace cashing less tickets but winning more money. And our normal inclination is to use everybody we want to use and everybody we think can win because, oh, if I thought that horse could win and I didn't use him and I lost the bet, well, I lost. Yeah. But what I would do is I would say take the one you like the most in certain spots. And instead of using 2 or 3, use that one 3 or 4 times. And when you're right, make it count. Uh, it's a hard concept to embrace. The kill shot concept is a hard thing to embrace because it goes against our nature to want to cash as many tickets as possible. And most people think that that's the secret to success in this game. It isn't. Winning money is the secret, and the only benchmark that you can go by is whether or not you do it. So, uh, we'll talk about my approach to triples and superfectas, 2 bets that I love. Uh, and, we'll see if you agree, if you disagree. Uh, I don't know how Gio's going to do his video yet exactly. I do have an idea of how he bets triples and supers. I think it's a little different than the way that I do. But again, if he's beating the game and it works, all the power to him. There's not one recipe to beat the game. There are certain fundamentals you must employ to beat the game, and there are certain mistakes that you make that will prevent you from beating the game. I don't give a shit how good you are, but there's more than one way to skin a cat. So, with that said, we'll talk about my approach to triples and superfectas, and it really spills into each other, both of those wages. And what I like to do is I like to turn them into exactas. Why? Because in my humble opinion, turning triples and superfectas into exactas accomplishes many important things. Okay, number one, you eliminate the possibility of getting beat by a horse that on paper looked like they had no shot whatsoever to run a step, but manages to run third or fourth. And that happens for many reasons that we will get into. Uh, it also puts you in position, and everything in this game is about putting yourself in position to make those scores. You have to be in position to make a score in order to make a score. If you're not in position to do it, it ain't going to happen. So, turning a triple or a superfecta into an exacta, the way that I do it, puts you in a position to make a big score. The other thing is, I believe that it is next to impossible to handicap with any sense of rational intelligence who's going to run third or fourth in a race. There are too many intangibles to do that. And there are intangibles in every slot, first, second, third, or fourth. But once you go from first to second, there's even more intangibles. Once you go into the third slot, there's even more intangibles. And once you go to the fourth slot, there are more intangibles than any of us can even count. If we had $1 for every intangible there is in who's going to run fourth, we wouldn't need to be doing these videos. We could be on a yacht somewhere, sitting off the coast of Monaco, getting ready to go shop for Cartier diamonds and Gucci, whatever. Uh, it just it is what it is. You can't get around to certain facts of this game. Um, why? Third, okay, there were so many things that happened. Who stopped riding? Who said, you know what, I'm not going to win, we save him for another day? Who got completely shut off? Who fought the same thing? There's even more. You know what I mean? Well, I'm not going to win, so I'm not going to try to get third, I'm not going to try to get fourth. Other horses are stopping for that very reason, and some horse that really had no shot on paper at 80-1 or 60-1 comes flying and runs third or fourth. Sometimes you're going to like these horses, sometimes you're not. But I can't tell you how many times, and I used to love to do this. I used to love to try and get cute. I used to, instead of take all in the last slot, I used to say, come on, man, I could always find a couple of horses to eliminate. I can't tell you how many times that those ones I decided to eliminate in that third and fourth slot, bang, cost me the triple or the super. And I can't tell you how many times those ones that I eliminated, all right, just jumped up and got into the number, and bang, you're out. Why leave that door open? Somebody's going to come in. Now, does it create a lot more losing tickets using all? And we'll get to how I do it in a minute. Yes, it does. But if you do it the way I do it, you offset that with the value. And it's all about creating and finding value. So, what I like to do, and on the races I decide to play superfectas and triples, first off, I'm not using the favorite on top. I'm using one horse on top, and I'm not using the favorite. If I like the favorite on top, I may single him. I may bet him in an exacta, ice cold. I may bet him in two exactas. single and multi races, that kind of thing. But if I'm betting a triple in a super, it's on a race where I don't like the favorite on top. So if that's the case, I got a decent price, or at least not the favorite, in slot number one. In slot number two, I'm only using two or the most three horses. So let's just use it simply by the numbers. Let's say number one is the horse that I like. 5-1, 8-1, 10-1, 20-1, doesn't matter. He's not the favorite. I'm taking 1/2, 3, or 2-3-4. I will have that exacta, okay? 1/2, 3, and 1/2, 2-3-4 if I decide to go three deep. And then in the third slot, I will have all, and in the fourth slot, I will have all. I'm negating the losing bets, okay, by using all those alls by the price. I don't have the favorite in the first or second slot. If I got to use the favorite in the first or second slot, then it's not a triple or superfecta race for me. That takes discipline. All right. Now, I always say Breeders' Cup and Kentucky Derby Day are the days you can circumvent your rules and get away from them and still come out ahead. But on the normal average day and the everyday betting, I don't do that. Okay. I stick to, I even do it on Breeders' Cup and Derby Day. But you can get away with it if you don't. But I do it. So on those days, all right, and on every day that I bet a triple or a super, I'm doing it when I don't like the favorite in the first or second slot. So that allows me to go all. All right. And by going all, okay, 1/2, 3 with all in the triple. That all creates a lot of losing bets, but I don't have the favorite in the first and second leg. And if I catch a price in the third leg also, especially if it's a price that no way I'm coming up with on paper to be third, a horse that looks like he's a complete toss, but runs third because of one of the hundreds of intangibles that can make that happen, bang, we're getting paid. We put ourselves in position to make a score, and we made it. And if the favorite or some shorter price horse runs third, we're still going to get paid because we beat the favorite in the first two slots. So 1/2, 3 with all. Now, if the bankroll allows and we're going for the kill, we're going to do the same thing in the super. 1/2, 3, or possibly 2-3-4 with all, with all. So, in essence, what did we do? Okay, we created a situation where we turned the triple and the super into the exacta. Because if we hit the exacta with the all in the third and fourth slot, we're automatically hitting the triple and the superfecta. And it's automatically going to pay a heck of a nice price. And, you know, back in the day, I hit many a pick sixes. My biggest one was 600 grand. Couple for 500 grand, many for 200,000. I hit plenty of big superfectas too, and that's the way I hit them. And it's, in my opinion, handicapping for third or fourth, it's kind of ridiculous. You're taking a skill game and turning it into a fool's game of chance. You know what I mean? A 3-card Monty. It's just not conceivable to me to be able to handicap who's going to run third or who's going to run fourth. You can handicap to win. You can handicap to run second. Most of the time, everybody's all in. They're trying to win. They're trying to run second. You got riders who stand up before the wire, make mistakes, and guys who, occasionally say, today's not my day. We'll save for next time. But, once you get out of the first and second slot, that increases 100 times. Okay. The fourth slot, even more. I mean, it's just so much can kind of influence outside of handicapping can influence who runs third or fourth in a horse race, that you got to be out of your mind to think that you can handicap that. I don't think it's doable. And if it is, I salute. It's not for me. I'm gonna eliminate that worry, and I can get away with it and beat the game doing it because I'm doing it only when, okay, only when I like the favorite to get beat in the first and second slot. And regardless of who I use to beat him in those two slots, that automatically puts me in a decent position. And the third and fourth slots being, open because I have all, puts me in a position to catch a 40 or 50 or 60 to one shot that I never would have caught. And that will happen a couple of times a year. Um, and we all know, like I said, we're going to lose more than we win. Okay, everybody knows that we're going to be wrong more than we're right. So when we're right, we want to get paid. How many times do you think it has to happen that I get a 30 or 40 or 50 to one shot in the third or fourth slot, or maybe both of those slots a year, to erase all the times that I didn't? You're right. Once or twice, three times. And it's going to happen more than that. So think about it. You're working the math. You're giving yourself the best opportunity to make a score. Putting yourself in position to make a score is key to making a score. Uh, you have to do that, uh, and you have to be willing to lose. You have to be willing to eliminate. You have to be willing to not put the favorite on the ticket and use the different horses in the first and second slot. You have to be willing to pass races that just don't line up with your style of betting. Discipline. Somebody asked me on the channel the other day in a comment, did I hear you right? You went to the Breeders' Cup and you bet one race? Yeah, you heard me right. It was a big bet and I was right. Uh, I won it. That's not something that a lot of people or everybody is going to do. But if you want to beat the game, you got to find out how it works for you to beat it, and you got to stick to that and have that discipline in order to do it. And that's how you are able to become a better, be a better. Tracking trips, we try and do that for people that are members of tracking trips. We try and do that for people that watch the channel. Gio has his way of doing it. I have my way of doing it. Uh, I say my way's right, my way or the highway. I don't think you could win doing it any other way. Gio loves to do it the way that he loves to do it. Uh, doesn't mean that you can't do it, his way. Doesn't mean you have to do it my way. You got to do it your way that works for you. I just believe, that the years that I lived the way that I lived, which not many people have done, put me in a position to learn certain things and embrace certain things that not everybody can do. But when you survive off playing the horses, you learn by necessity and by force certain things that you can and cannot do. You can't have a lot of losing bets. You can't have a lot of dumb bets. You can't have a lot of shitty ticket structure. Uh, if you do, you're done. You're just done. It's not going to work for you. If you do that, this game will absolutely 100 times over do what you don't want it to do. It will swallow you up. It will eat you like a shark in the water eats a little fish. Okay? You can't have those kind of mistakes. You want to beat the game, and at the end of the day, and at the end of the meet, and at the end of the, most importantly, the end of the year, what you want to see is this. And to me, there are only certain ways for that to happen. And it's betting the right way, and not making mistakes and not doing things that take away your opportunity to make those scores. Now, to delve a little deeper into my way of doing it, um, if you watch the art of ticket structuring video, and I'll put a link to it in this video, uh, in case you didn't watch it. But if you watched it, you'll notice that in my multi-race wages, I have two tickets. I have my main ticket and my go back ticket. Well, in the triples and supers, I have a go back ticket also. And that's when I do a key. So what I'll do is I'll take one with two, three with all. Okay. But like everybody else, I got opinions in horse racing. I do believe nobody can handicap for third or fourth. It's very difficult, but I do have horses I like better than others. And I do have horses that I like to eliminate, even though that has, come up and bit me in the behind a couple of times. But what I'll do is I've got my all ticket covered. So if I'm right on the exacta, I'm hitting the triple and super. Where I add the gravy train to that, okay, and try and create this is what would be the equivalent of my go back ticket on multi race wages is my key. I'll then take one keyed over the two and three, obviously, because those are the ones I like second, with the two other horses or maybe three other horses I like the best. And I'm just using the numbers now. So 1/2, 3, 4, 5, or 1/2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if it comes 1, 2, 3, I'm hitting everything. If it comes one with one of those other horses with the 2 or 3 third, I'm still hitting it. So I got a chance to get it all, or I got a chance to get a piece, but I most importantly have got a chance to make a score. And that's my philosophy and the way that I handle triples and supers. You've got to figure out, you know, what works for you and how it works best for you. And hopefully this video and Geo's video will help you. Now, I'll be the first to admit, most people will not be able to do it the way that I do it. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes leather skin. It takes the ability to, you know, not cry over, what you didn't hit and, have the philosophy, hey, I'm still punching. The smoke cleared. I'm still standing. I'm going to live to fight another day. You have to have that mentality, And I go back to because it's recent and I remember it well when I invested about, I don't know, $900, $1,000 or so into the Kentucky Derby pick six and pick five. And I was alive with Honor AP for like 600,000. I was alive with Sol Volante for over $1 million. I didn't close the deal. Honor AP might have won that race. He ran several feet further than anybody else, but he was way back early, and I kind of knew I wasn't going to win going into the first turn. Sol Volante was a turf horse, really, never ran a step. Sometimes those grass horses run good at Churchill Downs, and I just thought a bomb was going to win. I think Authentic wired him that day, that race. But I was alive on $1,000 bet for $500,000 or over $1 million. Okay, with two horses in the Kentucky Derby. Didn't close the deal. Shook it off. Why? Because I said, you know what? I didn't close the deal today, but I will soon enough. Uh, why? Because I'm going to put myself in position to do it. So you have to have that kind of skin. You have to be able to shake that off. It's tough. Not everybody can do it. Not everybody to go to the track and go to the Breeders' Cup with a pocket full of money and make one or two bets. You can't. Everybody wants to bet every race all over the place. You're killing yourself. You're killing yourself when you do that. Uh, you're betting every race across the board, especially if you're doing it at more than one track. There's only one thing that could happen. That's it. That's the only thing that can happen. All right. Unless your well is so deep that we can't see to the bottom. And I seen some deep wells, but I never seen one that deep. And, horse racing is one of the few games that can turn you real fast into a millionaire if you're a billionaire. So remember that. One benchmark, just one. And we know what it is. Okay? There's one benchmark. Do you beat the game? If you do, keep doing what you're doing. Keep beating the game. We support you. We love to see it. It's why we're here. But if you don't, consider another option. Check out Past the Wire TV. Check out Tracking Trips. Check out all we have to offer. Send us some emails. Ask us some questions. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Let us know what you think. We appreciate you all. Check out Gio's video coming up. And that's all she wrote. Ciao for now.
Tracking Trips at Past the Wire, your second set of eyes in horse racing.
Solomini,
Be a
a
member.
top 10 first crop sire in 2023, standing at McMahon of Saratoga. 14 first crop winners, including My Shady Lady, winner of the $500,000 New York Stallion Series Fifth Avenue Stakes, Grade 2 winner, Winstock, and Stakes winner, Solo Shot. Solomini, the 7th leading freshman sire and the only top 10 freshman sire with a Grade 1 or Grade 2 winner. He sired a $700,000 two-year-old at the OBS April sale. His juveniles sold for nearly 6 figures on average, more than 12 times the stud fee. Solomini, a controversial DQ from being a Grade 1 winner by 2-time Horse of the Year Curlin, standing at McMahon of Saratoga Thoroughbreds.
They breed the best, and hope for the best.
Macoma broke well on the outside. And
But you don't expect to get speed like this.
it is Macoma, the one to catch. Macoma has a 5-length lead in this Grade 1 quarter. Outside, Macoma continues the battle on down at the rail. It is Macoma who's going to win the Met Mile.
Nobody does it better.